second hitter for the Coyotes, steps up. That is a beautiful pitch on the inside corner for strike one. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're battling a few things, weather, internet issues, those types of things. So now up to bat for the Coyotes is TJ Gray after TJ Robles grounded to the shortstop. There's a pitch and a strikeout for the second out of the inning. Justice Burt really put some mustard behind that thing and threw it right past him, and the batter was way behind. So now up to the plate steps Eli Jacobson, the third baseman who had just a terrific defensive play there in the first inning. There's a ball hit sharply to the first baseman that gets under his glove and travels all the way out to the right fielder. And so that is not a hit. That's an error at first base, and Gage just didn't get his glove down all the way, and therefore the ball got underneath it. So now up to bat is Reed Bodie, the center fielder, who also had a great defensive play to actually start that first inning defensively for the Coyotes. After the weather being beautiful to start this game, it has kicked up quite a bit now, and wind's blowing really hard. There's a pitch. That's a strike.
And with all this weather, I look like an idiot because I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt. Check the weather this morning. It's supposed to be in the 60s, 50s, and 40s. But unluckily, the weather doesn't tell me wind chill.
That's true. So we're going to try and work through this typical St. John's baseball weather and see if we can't get past this cloud, because I see that just past this cloud is blue skies. So we're hoping we're able to get this game in. There's a pitch. It's outside. The runner takes off and he gets in easily. The pitch was outside in the dirt, and all that the catcher Joe Bushman could do was knock that ball down. It kicked a little outside and he was unable to make a throw. So with 2 outs and a runner at second base, Justice will need to bear down here and get a strike. Here's the pitch, and he gets the strikeout to end the inning and keep the runner at second at bay. And so the Redskins will step up to the plate, still with a 0-0 tie. And hopefully they can get something started here. I know that Wes Scarborough will look to get started, and he'll be followed by Dason Spencer. And then up to the plate will step Clarence Wiltbank, and followed by Afton Cox. So after an inning and a half, 0-0 score. Wind blowing, rainy, you know.
And I just like to give you a picture of what's going on here. We have a blue tarp that's on the brink of falling off, so I'm holding that down, along with holding a computer which is about to
blow over.
Yeah, and die. And so I'm standing here like a statue while talking.
I'll even paint you a better picture. Cale is in a short sleeve black shirt. It's about 50 degrees at best. At best. He's holding a blue tarp over all this expensive equipment. He's holding the monitor up, and so he is definitely earning his keep today. That's for sure. So it looks like we're ready to go to start the bottom half of this second inning, and I'm looking for Wes Scarborough to really get going here. I like his aggressiveness. I like how intense he plays the game, and I'm hoping that he's able to do something big right here. Great kid, hard-working kid, and the third baseman wearing number 36. Unique number, I must say.
Yes.
Oh, and that ball gets past the catcher and hits the umpire in the leg. Looks like he's okay. It may have just caught shin guard, but nonetheless. So 1 ball, no strikes to Wes. Here's the pitch. Wes hits that thing over the shortstop's head. No one's getting to that, and that ball is going to drop in for the first base hit, the first clean base hit of the game. And so Wes is now standing at first base with no outs, and up to the plate steps Dason Spencer, wearing number 34. And let me just say, if Dason can really focus here, keep his head down, Dason can hit this ball out of the park. He has an incredibly hard swing. He's got a ton of power. And if he can make contact, this ball will find grass. There's the ball inside, and of course, being the tough guy he is, Dason takes that ball off the shoulder and advances to first base with a hit by pitch. So now we have runners at first and second, and the freshman, Clarence Wiltbank, steps to the plate. Clarence is ready to go. Clarence is wanting to get on track here to start this game off in his first at bat. I'd love to see him really try and get the bat on the ball and do something here. The ball's pitched inside on a bunt, and Clarence is able to foul that thing off. That is something that's coached a lot, and that is when you see a batter turn and square to bunt and you've still got the ball, to fire that thing inside and jam that bunter and keep him from advancing the runners, which is, they had Wes. There was no one at third base, and Wes came about halfway and decided against it. I think if he goes, he's safe at third base, but he hesitated, turned around, and came back, which, you know, I'd much rather have him have done that than get picked off at third base with no outs. So now 0-2 on the hitter, and here's the pitch. That ball is hit. That is what I call a parachute pop fly over to right field, but just out of play.
Foul ball.
What, did he miss it by 18 inches?
At the top, 18 inches tops.
Yeah, that thing almost dropped in there, and that would have been beautiful because there was no one around, and Wes would have walked in from there. So Clarence got a bat on the ball, but wasn't able to find fair territory. So now he looks in, ready to go. There's the pitch. Outside, just outside for ball 1. That pitch is almost too close to take. Maybe trying to push that thing to right field. So Clarence is gripping the bat. He's ready to go. There's a pitch. It's inside and off. Oh, and now we're going to go. And fortunately for the Redskins, the throw from the catcher to the third baseman was outside, away from the bag in foul territory, and Wes is able to slide underneath that. The ball only got away from the catcher by 4 or 5 feet, therefore advancing at your own risk, because the risk would have been having a coach very upset at you at third base had you been thrown out. Here's the pitch. Clarence, swing and a miss, fouled straight back right at us.
And if there weren't a thing, if there weren't a giant fence right here protecting us, we wouldn't have a camera.
Yeah, that thing came straight at the camera, didn't it? We'll have to look at that on the rebroadcast tonight, Cale, because I think you're right. That thing was coming right at the camera. So here we go. There's the pitch. Again, Clarence fouls the pitch off and stays alive. And so the count is 2-2, and there are no outs with runners on second and third. And I'd love to see Clarence get this ball put in play after 4 fouled balls. I like that he's staying aggressive. I like that he's swinging at anything close. Here's the pitch. That ball again low and in the dirt, so Clarence has worked a full count here. And with the first base open, he is ready to go. And the pitch is in the dirt for ball 4, and that loads the bases up. And one awesome young man's getting ready to step to the plate, and this is Afton Cox, the right fielder for the St. John's Redskins. Absolutely love this kid. Think he is a great young man, and looking forward to seeing if he can't get something started. The last game we called, Afton had a really nice game. Let's see if he can get this going. There's a pitch on the outside corner, and Afton fouls that thing back. So again, the pitcher goes ahead in the count 0-1 with no outs and the bases loaded. This is a golden opportunity for the Redskins. If Afton can find grass, 2 runs will score. Dayson's quick at second base. There it is. There's a ball hit sharply to the right fielder. Dayson rounds third, and he'll head home. And Clance is going to advance to third with no throw.
And we have the first 2 runs of this game.
Super happy for Afton Cox to drive that ball in between the second baseman and the first baseman and score 2 runs. So now the Redskins, with no outs, have runners at the corner with the freshman phenom Clance Wiltbank at third, and Afton Cox with a 2 RBI single at first. And up to the plate steps the pitcher, the captain, Justice Burt.
I've been standing in this position for 20 minutes.
Justice looks in. And the pitch, he's going to bunt. No, he pulls back. There goes the throw down to second base. It's not in time. Afton goes in standing up. So now the runners have advanced to second and third, and Justice Burt up to bat. Justice chatted with him before the game. Really want to see him just climb a little bit up on the ball. He's getting underneath it just a bit. There's a throw back to second base, which is worrisome when there is a runner at third base. I probably go in that situation if I'm Clance Wilbank. He turned to throw to second, and I think, there's no outs, so there's no sense in making crazy plays with the top of the lineup coming up to bat. Justice flied out to center field in his first at bat and looks to get something started here in his second at bat. Dion Perry waits on deck. And the pitch. Boom, hits it to third base. It gets under his glove. That's going to go to left field. We're going to advance 1 base. Justice with a hard hit shot to the third baseman. So now Clance Wilbank comes in to score to bring the score 3-0. And Dion Perry steps to the plate with runners again at the corner. I'll tell you one thing. Justice Burt's not going to hesitate. He'll go to second base in about a second. So Dion steps to the plate, and it looks like the Lady Redskins softball club has come to cheer on the men's baseball team, and that's always nice to see. Dion is first pitch swinging, and Justice will have to return to first base. Yeah, I think Justice is going to take off the second there's movement from the pitcher. The fastest kid on the team, leads the team in stolen bases, although Dion has climbed the ladder pretty quickly. There's a pitch outside. The throw down is in front of the bag. Afton sees that happen in front of him and returns safely to third base. Smart play by Afton Cox. So now we have Dion Perry with a 0-2 count, and he'll need to protect. He can do that. He's solid. He'll be able to do that just fine. And the pitch. That ball is just inside, pretty close. Nonetheless, that's ball 1. I'm getting peppered by the tarp here. At some point, probably hitting me and slapping me in the face, Gail. That's all right.
And a strike.
There's a pass ball, and he's safe at first base.
Now that was a bunt, so he was able to run off and take first base.
Well, what happened was he had 2 strikes and he swung over the top of that ball in the dirt. The catcher was unable to handle it, and Dion was able to advance to first base on a strikeout. So now they've got bases loaded and no outs, and this is the perfect situation for Cale Stewart to come up and give this ball a ride, and that's what I think he's
Welcome to another
gonna wanna
Legacy
do.
Team Production broadcast. My name is Judge Mike Latham. We founded Legacy Teen Productions in 2020 as one of the many proactive youth engagement programs that are part of our Legacy Teen
We're gonna
Centers.
tape this-
Our goal was to provide
tape
high
this
school
tarp
students
down.
with the opportunity
That
to
might
learn
help.
about video production, editing,
Think it might
camera
help a lot.
operation, and live streaming. Each broadcast is filmed and
Heck,
produced
man, I
by
might just hold
local
the
high
2
school
ends
students
together
and
and call
mentors from
this
the Loft
game
Legacy Teen Centers.
multitasking
These
here, Cale.
broadcasts
That's what we're
highlight
doing.
the athletic skills and talents of our local youth
I
and
hope
provide
our
friends and relatives
viewers are
across the
enjoying
world the
broadcast.
opportunity to watch our youth
We're
compete
doing our
and
best to
perform.
make sure that you
These
can see
broadcasts
this
would
ball
not be
game. I
possible without the
apologize
dedication
for
of our
some
Loft
of the technical
mentors, Paul
difficulties,
Hancock
but we're
and
gonna
Victor
keep
Chavez,
broadcasting.
as well as
Cale
our
Stewart,
amazing volunteers,
First pitch is
announcers,
just
and student
outside
camera
low.
crews.
He's really anxious.
On behalf of Legacy Team
I know Cale
Productions,
really
we
well.
hope you enjoy the
having coached him.
broadcast.
And this kid sees the situation in front of him, bases loaded, no outs. He wants something to hit. He drives the ball over the first baseman's head to right field. It kicks just past the right fielder and able to score 2 runs on a beautiful base hit by Cale Stewart. So now the Redskins are up 5-0, and this inning has really gotten away from ALA Coyotes, and they're going to have to settle down here a little bit, get an out, and start working from there. Joe Bushman steps to the plate with runners on the corners. Cale Stewart looking at the pitcher for movement. There's the movement. He's taken off. That ball is fouled out of play. And now Joe Bushman has fallen behind 0-1.
We're back.
But he's ready to go. And
Okay, so it appears we were accidentally with technical difficulties in commercial, so we're back.
are we back? We didn't even know. That's where we're at right now. We don't even know.
Yes,
Well, let me
and-
just paint the picture for you. Cale Stewart just got a single that scored 2. There's a ball hit high in the air to the right fielder who is unable to get the ball. The runner will score from third, and both runners advanced. Cale to second, Joe Bushman to first. The right fielder was playing deep. The ball was hit over the first baseman's head just to the outfield grass, and the right fielder was unable to come up and make a play on that. So now the Redskins lead this ball game 6-0 here in the bottom of the second. Up to the plate steps the first baseman, looking to make up for the ball that got under his glove, and here is Gage Trickey. There's the pitch, and that ball's hit hard right at the second baseman. It kicks off his knee. All 3 runners are going to advance. That was a tough ball because that was a pull shot to the shortstop, who tried to catch it in the air, and once it hit the ground, it kicked right, and there was not a whole lot he could do about that. The biggest issue was whether or not the runners were advancing because it was a line drive. So here's the pitch to Wes Scarborough, who started this inning out getting on first base, and Wes is ready to go now with Cale Stewart at third, Joe Bushman at second, and Gage Trickey at first. And it looks like we'll have a pinch runner for Joe Bushman, and that is Luis Morales, who is out at second base running for the catcher, Joe Bushman, wanting to get back into the dugout and get his gear on, even though there are no outs here in the second inning
and
and
I'd
the
just
bases are
like
loaded.
to say, we put up 5 points in the bottom second inning. Overall 5 points, 5-0 game, no outs.
You are right about that. I mean, we're looking at the batter here, Cale, and this is Wes Scarborough, who started the inning. We've gone completely through the order. That ball gets past the catcher, and that'll advance Cale Stewart to home plate, and all the runners move up. And so now we have runners at second and third, no outs, score 7-0. And Wes Scarborough looks at his coach. His coach is talking to a base runner. So Wes is like, I think I'm just going to hit away. And this is the kind of inning that will make or break you. And there's a swing. He kept his head in. That ball just a bit outside and was unable to reach for it. So now the count, 3-1 on the batter with Dason Spencer waiting on deck. There's the pitch, and it's fouled out of play. And I am happy to be joined by my buddy who, you know, like father, like son, wearing short sleeves. And I have a jacket, but you're a big dude. I would literally take my jacket off and give it to you. You wouldn't fit in this.
It fit one arm.
I don't even know if you'd get an arm in
I
this
just
thing.
put one arm in and
There's a
go.
ball hit hard. Wes Scarborough to the shortstop who's going to try and get the first out. He does, but not before Luis Morales scores from third base to make this game 8-0 with one out.
You know, you're a Redskins fan. You're excited to see this. You're putting the runs up, 8 runs now. You know, to be honest with you, I think with the weather the way it is, you want to get your 10
Yes.
and then start getting the outs.
I agree with you, Paul. I said that while you were en route, that what the Redskins would love to do here is get a 10-run lead and try and pop this game so that the weather doesn't affect anything. There's a ball pitched high, and Dason lays off at that with Gage Trickey standing at third base. Right here would be a beautiful, beautiful thing. Get this run in here. Dason steps in. Dason's got a ton of power if he can get the bat on the ball. He swings, just fouled off a little bit, and so that evens the count at 1-1. We've got ones across. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
Yeah, you're sitting good. St. John's here, you know, runner on third, 1 out. You got, you know, really 2 batters to try to get the 9th run in. Hopefully you can get a 10th in this inning.
There's a pitch, and Dason just missed that ball, looking to score 2 with that swing.
He swung so hard that the ball ducked.
I think the ball ducked.
It was scared.
I thought he was going to spin himself into the ground there. He swung so hard. So that's okay. I expect nothing less from Dason, that's for sure. There's a pitch. That's fouled out of play again. There's 2 balls headed over to the adjacent practice field. So now Dason's going to have to protect with 1 ball and 2 strikes. The freshman phenom, Clance Scooter Wiltbank, is in the on-deck circle. That ball is high.
That's good discipline there to lay off that. Those high pitches are tough to lay off sometimes.
They are. They're up in your eyes. You think you see them better because they're at eye level. The problem is getting the bat up there to make solid contact. There's a pitch. That ball's hit hard to right field. No chance he's going to be able to get that, and Dason's going to run. He's not even slowing down. He'll get to third base standing up. So now Gage Trickey comes in. He's safe. They threw behind Dason. Dason rounded the third base bag thinking no throw. They threw behind him, almost got him picked up after he rounded third. He was able to get his uniform dirty, get back in there, and stay safe. So now Scooter Wiltbank will step to the plate, has a chance for an RBI here with Afton Cox on deck. Afton's the one that got us started, Paul, with a RBI, 2 RBI single at the top of this inning. And there's a pitch. Clance drives that ball to third base, kicks off the glove, fair. Third baseman was unable to handle it. The run scores to bring the score to 10-0, and Dason's able to cross home plate. That was a hard hit ball by Clance. The third baseman not only had the runner in his way, the ball was hit, took a weird hop, and it bounced off his glove, and he was unable to make the play.
I think the third baseman kind of took focus off the ball and kind of focused on the runner there. Wasn't sure what was going to happen. Runner's trying to get back. He's in foul territory. He's where he needs to be, and just took his eyes off, got a little confused, bounces past him. But that's the 10th run for the Redskins now.
So if Justice can come and do his typical strike, on the mound, we should be in good shape. But Afton Cox isn't going to settle for that. That's a strike on the outside corner. Afton helped out the pitcher on the first pitch. The ball was chest high inside. Afton swing and miss. That ball just caught the outside corner, so Afton's looking to get the bat on the ball. And he does that straight over our head, fouled out of play. Still 0-2.
It's tough when everyone's getting hits. You want to join the hit parade, and at this point with this ALA pitcher, St. John's has figured him out a little bit. So now it's like you go up there aggressive with full confidence. So you swing at stuff that you shouldn't swing at.
I agree. You're excited. You're wanting to get a hit. I will say this about Afton, though. He's the one that got this hit parade started. He drove a great pitch to right field to start this inning off with 2 runners that had been put on base by walk. And so now Afton takes the ball. Count is 1-2, and Scooter Wilbank has advanced to second base on that pass ball.
The weather here, this is a great northeastern Arizona baseball weather. We're used to it. The kids are used to it. ALA comes up out of the valley, and they have to deal with this, and I'm telling you, this is freezing for them.
And there's not a long sleeve in the field, not one.
Yeah,
they're all short sleeved. No one's got a sweatshirt on underneath, so they're chilly.
Yeah. There's
a pitch outside, and that evens the count at 2. So Afton looks over at Coach Davis, who says hit away. Afton, I'll tell you what Afton's become. Afton's become what I think is the best bunter on this team. I think he could probably get to first on a bunt to third base, but he's going to try and swing anyway, and that ball's high and outside. So he's worked the count after being behind 0-2. Afton has worked the count to a full count, and this is an important pitch for the Coyotes, and Afton absolutely rips that ball over the head of the left fielder. Scooter Wilbank's going to be able to trot around
Afton's going
third
for
base. Afton thought about going 3. Instead, turns around, gets back to second base. Afton hit that thing on the screws. The left fielder was charging it.
He came in hard.
And went over his head. So now Justice Burt steps to the plate, but this time I think the pitcher's going to be replaced as the coach.
The pitcher's pretty frustrated. You could see on the last one, just before the last pitch, he kind of wasn't happy with what's going on. It's tough, St. John's hits the ball well. They're well coached. They hit the ball. You put the ball near the plate, they're going to swing at it. They're aggressive today. That Snowflake game the other day, although it didn't count as a game,
yeah,
that gave St. John's a ton of confidence because they beat up a Snowflake pitcher who's solid.
Yes.
That Snowflake pitcher's throwing way harder than the LA pitcher is right now. So they beat him up. They feel confident. They're primed for a great run right now.
Well, and that Snowflake team was no joke. They are a talented bunch of young men. And you're right, the Redskins came out, had a 4-1 lead before the rains came and washed the game away.
Yeah, they were an out away from making that a complete game win.
Yes, and that would have been a huge win. But just the fact that they went 4 2/3 innings and were up 4-1 in that ball game, you're right, Paul, it gave them a ton of confidence. They felt like if we can hit off a Caden Cantrell, we can probably hit off anyone. And that's kind of the attitude they have right now. So looks to me like the Coyotes have brought in a new pitcher, and we'll see if he can do any better. I'll tell you, the last pitcher was throwing good pitches. St. John's was just hitting the ball, and by hitting the ball was able to frustrate the pitcher. If there could have been some plays made for him in the field, I think he wouldn't have been as frustrated.
I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but Kale has the cutest pink sweatshirt on now.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't.
It's my mom's.
You can see him from the moon.
Well, I was going to say, you said it's a cute pink sweatshirt. It is a loud pink sweatshirt. That thing is loud. I can hear it from here.
I tell you, the International Space Station has kind of pinned on it. If you go to nasa.org or .gov, and check out their live feed, you'll probably be able to get a better view of the game than what we're giving you, just because they looked at his sweatshirt.
Absolutely, that thing is bright. But you know what?
Oh.
Here, the only thing that Cale cares about is right now he's warm, and I'll take warm in a hot pink sweatshirt more than freezing cold with a T-shirt on.
I thought the umpire was coming here to tell him to turn it down a little bit.
Sir, you're going to have to move to the side of the ball field. That is taking concentration away from our pitcher.
Absolutely. Now we know why they throw a ball. We know why.
And I'm looking over at a big group of fans that the Redskins have here, and there's somebody sitting over there, Cale, that you could sit right next to. And
pretty much match.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, I think you guys would be right on the same page. It's perfect. In fact, I know who that is. That's is that Justice's grandmother? Yeah, that's Justice Burt's grandma. So, Cale, you've got the same sweatshirt on she does. So now up to plate is the aforementioned Justice Burt, and he'll step in with a new pitcher and see if he can't get something started off this brand new pitcher. The Coyotes have got a long way to come back in this thing, but if they're going to do it, they're going to need to get started here. Here's the pitch, and that's in the dirt past the catcher, and Apton Cox advances from second to third base. So now it looks like Justice is looking in and going to try and give this ball a ride. I'll tell you, the best arm I've seen on this ALA team is the catcher. Catcher's getting so frustrated having to dig balls out of the dirt that he's firing it back to the pitcher. There's a hot hit ground ball between the shortstop and the third baseman, so Justice picks up another RBI, and now up to the plate steps Dion Perry, who has hit the ball hard today. Before you got here, Paul, he absolutely ripped a shot at the first baseman, and the first baseman had two choices: die or catch the ball. He chose to catch the ball.
Hit and
There's
run.
a ball hit to the shortstop. It was a hit and run, and the shortstop throws to first, not in time, and because of the throw, a heads-up Justice Burt goes from first to third, and Dion hit the ball really hard, but the hit and run was on, and the shortstop had vacated his normal position to cover the second base bag, and that's right where Dion hit the ball. So now Cale Stewart is looking for a sign, and I just watched the sign from Coach Davis, which was hit away. Hit away, Cale, hit away.
You know, it's a tough spot here. You don't want to get into bad habits for the next game. You want to stay hot. You want to stay going. But you also don't want to embarrass another team.
There's a ball thrown down to second base, and they got him. They got him.
I think he was there, but when he popped up, he popped a little high. It's like he filled a helium or something like that. Got some air.
Well, Dion's quick, and so he slid down there, and as he slid into the second base bag, it catapulted him up off the bag, and the shortstop was able to keep the tag on him. So Cale now is there with the runner at third base. That ball was well over his head by 18 inches or so.
I think refraction got you. That thing was like right down the middle. I had to bring refraction back for you. Pacer's in there, on there with us, so I thought I'd throw it out there.
I have that whole refraction thing. I thought about it for about 5 days, Paul. In fact, I think you and I text refraction to each other. The pitcher is trying to hang a curveball, and it's just not breaking, and it's over the top of Cale's head for ball two. Here's the pitch. Cale drives that thing hard, way out of play, and it looks like a race to the foul ball.
Is pink going to win or black?
Pink's going to win going away.
Pink's got a great head start. He looks back, though. He might lose a little bit of ground. He keeps looking back. Pink's going. Pink's got it.
He's got it.
I think Pink's going to win the race.
There's a ball hit to the third baseman. No chance. No chance on that, and the run scores. That is actually DJ Spencer. Cale tries to get to second. Safe. Wow, I thought they had a chance to get him there, but Cale danced around the tag to stay safe at second base. So DJ Spencer had come in to run for Justice Burt, the pitcher, and he scores the 13th run, and up to the plate steps the cleanup hitter, the catcher, Joe Bushman. Pitcher turns to throw to second, and now he looks back. This is the second time through the lineup for Joe as well. And there's a pitch in the dirt. Joe smartly puts up the stop sign to Cale to stay put at second base. So we've got 2 outs and 13-0 score. There's a swing and a strike to even the count at 1-1.
Got a piece of that. Little foul tip.
Little foul tip into the catcher's glove. You know, they say something about the devil dancing when the sun's shining and it's still raining. I don't know what the exact saying is, but it's raining and the sun's shining. There's a pass ball, and Cale advances easily to third base. And so now the count 2-1 to Joe Bushman. He's looking to give this thing a ride. He'd like to pick up another RBI and bring the score to 14-0. The wheels have kind of came off for ALA, but let me tell you, St. John's did this in 1 inning. They could do it back. They just need to get out of the inning and get in and try and hit the baseball. So,
yeah, ALA, they're solid. They'll be okay, I think. Yeah, St. John's put 13 up. ALA could turn around and put 13 up as well.
That's high school baseball. That's what can happen. So,
you know, when you have teenage boys playing a game, anything could happen.
Anything can happen. Here's the pitch. Joe Bushman hits that ball sharply to second baseman, who makes the play. The throw, and they got him out at first.
I tell you, that was a scary situation down there at first base. Joe Bushman looked like he kind of stepped on the base, and it looked like his ankle kind of rolled a little bit. So
he's coming off gingerly.
Yeah,
he's coming off the field gingerly. But we know one thing, Paul. Joe Bushman's a tough son of a gun.
He's
no
a tough
question
kid.
about that.
You just hate to see somebody when a runner's running hard and they really reach.
Yeah,
that's when the injuries happen. That's when you step off the base slightly. That's when you catch something because you're not balanced.
I agree.
So
and not only that, something to think about. It's been sprinkling and the bag's wet.
Absolutely.
You get and metal cleat. You get your cleat on the top of the bag. You go sliding. You could do some damage. So now Justice Burt steps to the mound, and he's got a ton more confidence with a 13-run cushion.
Well, now you can throw. You can throw those pitches that you want to work on a little bit. You can throw those pitches you don't have a whole lot of confidence in, and you can work on things because you have a lot of a cushion, but you still want to get the batters out. You want to get them up and down. You don't want to hit a big pitch count because you want to be available later this week too.
Agreed. That's a great point, Paul. I think Justice will try and throw a couple things, but the other thing that Justice is a smart, heady type player. He's very he thinks the game through. He knows that the weather could change in an instant, and it's more important to get to that 5th inning. And so he's going to want to come at these hitters and see what he can do.
Yeah, you want to get as close to 3 up, 3 down as you can right here. You want to mow through the order and don't give them any confidence. Don't let them feel that they can get back in this game.
Right. I think if he can go 1, 2, 3 here, that would actually really make it tough.
Yeah, you want to, you got him down. You want to keep him down and not give him that ray of hope.
And we're looking here. They're facing the number 8 and number 9 hitter for the ALA Coyotes. So number 1 steps in. There's a pitch inside, ball 1. This has got to be a little daunting for this young man. He's stepping in to face a really tough pitcher like Justice. There's a pitch right down the middle, strike.
I like what Justice is doing. He's throwing that pitch, getting the return, and he's back on the rubber. He's ready to go, feeling confident. As an umpire, that's my favorite pitcher. I love it. Let's get this thing going.
There's a pitch right past him, way behind on that fastball for strike 2. Justice does work quick, and like I said before, he knows that rain cloud could pour at any minute. He tries a little curveball. He's laughing out there. He tried that curveball. It didn't break at all. Slipped out of his hand, and so now Justice is still ahead 1-2. Throws the ball in the dirt on a 3/4 arm slot pitch. I don't like that pitch at all.
No, you took the pitch. You were up 1-2. Now you're 3-2 count. You overthrew that one a little bit, and
well, he dropped his arm angle a lot, so now he's got to come over his ear. Gets the strikeout. That 3/4 arm angle bugs.
Yeah.
Bugs me a little.
I was back in the day in Little League, it was come over the top.
Yeah.
Especially in the field, because then you get a great bounce. You get a true bounce back
true
up
bounce.
To the players. Just, throw your normal stuff. Let's get this thing out of here and go home.
So the number 9 hitter, number 12 for the Coyotes, is behind on that fastball for strike one. They see it coming, but they are just behind it a lot. That's what we've got. 2 people. 33? 32, nice.
Yeah, 32 out there.
32 people in the middle of a Monday. Watching Redskin baseball. I like that. There's a ball hit to the second baseman. Clint Wiltbank charges and has plenty of time to make the throw for the second out of the inning.
You like to see that. It's fundamentally solid. He went down there, squared up on the ball, had it go between his 2 legs right there.
Yep.
Used 2 hands and came up and got the easy play.
Well, I think, Clance is smart. He saw the runner not fleet of foot, so he charged the ball. Got into a position to make a sound play on the ball and had plenty of time to throw to first base. So the leadoff hitter steps to the plate now to start his second at bat of the day. He struck out in the first inning, and he gets down and looks at this pitch.
Yeah, he'd like to see just low. Just focus on getting the batter at this point. Let's just get it done.
Yeah, I'd like to see him just throw fastballs right at the glove. To be honest with you, they have been behind him all day, so just throw fastballs. There's a ball in the ribs, and he's going to take his base. That's only the second runner of the day for the Coyotes, and that ball hit him close to a rib cage.
Yeah, that definitely got him in the rib cage there. He almost caught up. He almost came up with the ball. We're giving him a second. Let's check on him and see if he's okay. But we're also waiting for the catcher to get off of his shin guards. But that's a tough way to get on base. Justice is throwing pretty hard today. It's a little chilly. ALA is probably not used to playing in the cold like this. That one probably hurt a little extra.
Yeah, that one hurt a little extra. Looks like he's okay down there. He's looking at taking a lead. His cousin steps to the plate now for the Coyotes. And Justice looks in. Let's just throw strikes here, Justice, and get out of this inning. There is the first one. And strike one. Until I see that they can even catch up to my fastball, I'm throwing fastballs, and I'm throwing them right past him. Just come right over your ear, throw it as hard as you can, and let's just get over this thing. There's a ball hit to Dion Perry in center field. He's under it to make the third out of the inning. And the ball was hit nicely.
It was a well-hit ball, but
right at Dion. Dion camped under that thing and was waiting for it. One-handed it. And so the Redskins come into bat here in the bottom of the third, and the score remains 13-0 after allowing one runner on a hit by pitch. Justice was able to come back and get the next hitter out.
Yeah, Dion made a great play, but let's be honest, Dion's the second best player in this family. Chantel's better.
Yeah?
Yeah, Chantel's better.
I'm not telling Dion that.
I'm not going to tell Dion that. It's just between you and me.
Okay. Dion's a pretty good player, and I do love Chantel, but
he is a great player. He's tough.
What's funny, they have such a great relationship, Dion and Chantel, that he'd probably agree with you.
Yeah, and Chantel,
although he's competitive.
Chantel would say no.
No.
She's not, but
They have such a good relationship. I really have enjoyed getting to know those two.
They're great kids.
People, yep. Great kids. So now the pitcher is warming up. The catcher had to take off his shin guards to hit that ball hard to center field. So now he's putting his equipment back on. It's going to take him a second. up to the plate for the third time today. Looks like it's going to be Gage Trickey. And he'll be followed by Wes Scarborough and Dason Spencer. So let's see if the Redskins can do any more damage. It's hard to tell a team, hey, listen, let's just get through these innings. Let's hurry up. Let's get through the innings. But they're going to want to hit the baseball, so they're going to be coming up very aggressive. I'll tell you, right now is a perfect no wind, no rain. Everything's good. All right, the catcher's back out, and he throws down to the second baseman and up to the plate. For the Redskins steps Gage Trickey. And Gage looks over at Coach Davis, and Coach Davis says, hit the ball.
Yeah, see the ball, hit the ball. Game's not over yet.
Hit the ball.
I tell you, that's one thing about baseball. You know, football, you have a clock.
Yeah.
You can waste time. You can run the clock out. Basketball, same thing.
You got to get the outs.
You got to get the outs.
Yep, you got to get the outs. There's a ball hit hard and foul, and it looks like Kale's going to be behind the 8 ball on this. There's no chance he's getting it.
Well, if T sees him, T will get him. T's going to beat Kale on that one.
There's a pitch low, but it's called strike. I know the umpire looked at that and said, hey, that's close enough to hit. You're going to have to hit today.
And you know, the game starts getting a little out of hand, a little bit like this. All of a sudden, strike zone becomes nose to toes, here to there. If you can hit it, we're calling it a strike.
Yep, and there's a curveball that doesn't curve, and that's inside, so that brings the count 1-2 to Gage, and Gage is going to need to be aggressive on anything close here. There's a pitch. Ball's hit to the third baseman. Foul ball.
Yeah, third baseman, if he comes in hard, he gets it when it's fair, but he kind of stepped back on that one and let the ball play him a little bit, which allowed it to go foul.
Yeah. The fans giving it to the umpire here just a little bit, little friendly banter. There's a couple of baseball officials in the stands having fun. There's a ball hit to third base again. That ball is called fair, and Gage is going to be able to make that easily. Gage got some good speed, good wheels, is able to run past first base safely. So now up to the plate steps Wes Scarborough, and wearing number 36. I swear, some of these numbers I'm like I've never seen on a baseball field before in my life.
You know, they're like lower level minor league numbers.
Very low level.
But
there's a nice swing.
You have Ramon up there who officiates baseball and softball. He's up there just talking away. But the truth is, Ramon would never have been able to see that ball down the line. He's still back there camping out, eating a ham sandwich back there.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah. Ramon wears the bag that has no softballs, no baseballs in it, but it has a ham sandwich.
That's my buddy we're talking about. Moan's been playing baseball and calling baseball for a lot of years. Comes from a long line of baseball aficionados. Trust me, I played with many of them. So here's the pitch to Wes. That ball is on the outside corner for strike 2.
Yeah, that had a little curve to it. Caught the corner as it was curving away.
You know, I like that pitch a lot, and these kids seem to lay off that. You drive that ball to right field, and you run for days.
Absolutely.
So there's a pitch, and he drives it to the second baseman, who is able to come up and make a play on that for an out at first base, but not before Gage Trickey is able to advance to second base on the hit. So now Dason Spencer is going to step to the plate. Struck out his last time up, walked his first time. So Dason's looking to get on the hit parade here with 1 out and RBI opportunity at second base. Here's the pitch. Dason swings over the top of that for strike 1. If Dason can if he can keep his nose down on that ball and watch the ball hit the bat, I know he can give this thing a ride out of here.
Yeah, this pitcher for ALA, he's pitching with a little bit more confidence. He's getting the ball back. He's getting back on the rubber, ready to go. So
He's got a curveball. He's got a fastball. He can spot his fastball inside and outside, which makes it a little more difficult for the hitter. Dayson's aggressive, though. He'll be swinging. There's a pitch outside.
Just a bit outside.
2-1. Dayson looks down with the runner at second base and a 13-0 lead. Coach Davis is occupying a spot in the third base coach's box. That's it. There's a ball in the dirt outside, and Dayson Spencer has worked his way into a 3-1 count, and if this pitcher is going to get him out, he's going to have to come across the plate with it, and Dayson will be swinging. Green light for sure.
There's a great pitch.
Great pitch, tough to hit.
Yeah.
That is a pitcher's favorite pitch. Inside, knee high, tough to deal with.
Yeah, these weather conditions, they're not ideal, and ALA, they're not used to this. It's harder to throw the ball.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, I'm not certain, but I can promise you this. If I was coming to the White Mountains from Phoenix, I'd pack a sweatshirt. I'm just saying.
Even in July.
Yeah. I'd have a jacket for sure. There's a ball hit to the third baseman. That is going to roll foul. That's an easy call. And Dayson will return to the box.
Yeah, even Ramon gets that one. Ramon will get that one. He'll get that one right.
So, Dayson Spencer steps up now. He's worked a full count. He's going to swing at anything close. I'd love to see him keep his nose down on this thing and drive this ball hard. Here's the pitch.
Ramon knows we're talking about him, so now he's checking on YouTube what's being said.
Nothing but good stuff, bro. Nothing but good stuff. It's all good.
He's just shaking his head like, whatever, I know you, Paul.
I got your back, Moan. All right. 3-2 count. The pitch. That ball
great
is
pitch.
Strike 3 on the inside corner.
Upper level of the strike zone. Right there, inside. Great pitch.
Here's the thing, Paul. 13-0. Official is going to work the borders. There's no question about that. So now upsteps Scooter Wiltbank with a runner on second base. Successful as last time up. Hits this ball back to the pitcher, who makes the easy play and throws him out at first base to end the inning.
Great inning by ALA.
ALA came out, did what they needed to do to stop the Redskin onslaught. So Justice Bird is going to come out and work quick here. I expect Justice and Joe to come out, couple of warm-up pitches, and be ready to go get this bottom of the fourth finished up.
Look at Justice right there. He's like, I'm ready to pitch. I'm ready to get this thing going.
Justice was the first player out of the dugout and to his position. There is no one at their position yet. Justice is still standing on the mound waiting to go. He's ready.
He's ready. I got 6 more outs. He's like a racehorse. He sees the barn, smells the feed, wants to get the game over with, get the W, and move and get into the state tournament.
These play-in games, I have thoughts on them, and that, they don't really even count. As a basketball coach, these play-in games are like, hey, you play in. If you win, you move on to the state playoffs. Well, I'm sorry, AIA, but it was a game. It was to determine you getting to the playoffs. To me, it's always just been a playoff game.
And I agree with you. I don't like the word play-in.
Yeah, it's a playoff game.
It's when they expanded the NCAA tournament from 64 to 68.
Yeah.
Do those guys not make it because
They
they're
made
a play-in? No,
Right.
they made the tournament.
They made the tournament.
They made it. To me, they're
think
doing a
this is-
play-in game to make it to 24 teams, to allow 24 teams in.
Right.
24 teams got in. ALA is in the playoffs. They win, they're in. They lose, they're out. Kale wants to say something.
Yes, like this year in March Madness, UCLA, the number 11 seed, played a playing game against Michigan State, made it all the way to the Final Four. Food for thought.
There's the first hard hit ball by ALA. Number 4 slides into second base safely on the throw from Afton Cox. That ball Clance had to go a long way to get that ball and was just unable to get his glove down all the way.
You know, if he bends his knees, he would have got it. No, that's a tough play for Clance. I just had to give him a hard time. But you got to look at Jamie Jones, the official there. He was able to say safe with a knee kick. That's safe with a style.
I talked to him before the game. He said, hey, you think it's going to rain us out? I said, not if you call a quick game. It won't rain us out. And that's kind of what's happening here. Great official. He said he was in Blue Ridge on Wednesday for a 7 o'clock game, and the temperature was in the low 40s, high 30s.
Absolutely. I've done a game there just before the state tournament that you couldn't see the ball for snow.
Yeah.
You know, then the next week you're at state tournament, it's 110 degrees.
I'm not sure what's going on at Blue Ridge, why it's one of the colder places to play in the entire north.
Yes.
And they have night games there.
Night games.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I tell you, there's something special, though, about playing a night game.
Yeah.
And a game in Blue Ridge. And their field is no special than any other field, but it's kind of neat when you get to do a night game over there.
Understood. So Justice gets ahead in the count and is able to strike out the second batter after giving up his first hit of the game here in the fourth inning.
Yeah.
One hit baseball for Justice Burt, and he's not at all happy about that, so he comes back and fires 3 rockets and gets a strikeout.
Well, that's what you like to see him do. Just focus on getting the outs. Don't mess around. Don't get your pitch count up. Just get outs.
I mean, I'm watching strike after strike where I hear the pop of the ball into the catcher's glove as the hitter is swinging. Justice is way ahead of these guys. There's a pass ball to the catcher, and the runner advances to third. This is the furthest any Coyote has gotten today, third base, and with only 1 out. So Justice is going to have to bear down here, throw strikes, make sure that the catcher is in position to stop the ball and try and get a strikeout here. Another one. Here comes the runner, and he's going to score easily.
And, you know, that ball got by Joe. He had a block. It glanced off of him, and he had no idea where the ball went, and nobody told him where it was.
I was looking at both the pitcher and the first baseman, and neither one of them were talking to poor Joe Bushman, who was left with no idea where the ball was. But again, I don't be so fancy.
Just
throw strikes.
They're not catching up to you. Get outs.
They are not catching up to you. Throw strikes. There's a ball hit high into the air. It looks like the shortstop is underneath it and is able to make the play for the second out of the inning. That ball was hit about as high as a ball can be hit.
Yeah, that was way up there.
And Cale was able to camp under that thing. I saw him stutter step once, but he was able to make an easy play on that ball. So now with 2 outs and 1 run already crossed the plate, the pitch, little changeup from Justice has the hitter way out in front of that ball. That was a nice pitch by Justice. Little full-fingered changeup there.
Yeah, changeup's a great little pitch. I mean, you're throwing heat, and then you do a little bit of change of speed.
Yeah.
And, you know, they pull back muscle trying to slow down on that one.
He was way out in front of that, that's for sure. So now the count is even, 1-1. There's a pitch. That is a strike. Now I guess the count's even, 2-2. I missed one of those balls. So 2-2 with 2 outs, no runners on.
Might have to get you a clicker for next year so you can keep track.
I usually do pretty good. There's a ball hit easily to the pitcher, who backhands that thing, throws a dart over to first base to end the inning. And so after 4.5 innings, or excuse me, after 3.5 innings, the Redskins lead 13-1, and ALA is able to get that 0 off the scoreboard and put a run across.
I tell you, if you're St. John's, I think you take a look out left field. You notice that the wind's picking up again right now, and you know, let's get this game over with.
I agree with you. I think we should be throwing nothing but fastballs right down the middle, and let's work this game, get over. If I was Justice right now, I'm standing right outside the box, and I'm waiting to step into the box and get started. Not a second of time to waste. I see, you know, dark black cloud.
Coach brought a sweatshirt.
Yes, he did.
That's why he's the coach.
Coach is putting on a big black sweatshirt over in the dugout there for ALA.
I can't say a whole lot as I'm,
You're
short
in
sleeve.
a short sleeve shirt.
And
I see that.
yeah, Victor's in shorts, but I got a short sleeve shirt on.
Well, Victor's in shorts in December at Christmas.
Uh,
If you look at Victor at Christmas pictures, he's got shorts on.
The only reason I wear pants is because my job kind of requires it.
Yeah. Well, I had to come from my job to the broadcast, so I of course have pants on instead of shorts. So Afton Cox, the number 10 hitter, is the hitter stepping into the box. Justice just is antsy and was out first, ready to go. So Afton steps in. He's one out of two today. Let's see what happens here. There's a ball hit to the first baseman. He stays down on it, is easily able to make the play. Nice hard hit ball, so hard that if the first baseman could come up with it, he had a long time to.
Yeah. Hey, Rusty, though, the other day I was doing the softball game with my wife and Kale, the Hancock Trio, and we were going down. Like Justice is batting. We have Dion on deck, and then we have someone in the hole.
Right.
And like, where does that come from? Do you know where that comes from?
I don't know.
I do.
Do you?
Suzanne, she's smart.
Yeah.
She likes to look stuff up. She loves baseball. She knows a lot about it. And we're talking about, like, where does that come from? It's the ship. They're in the hull, Hull, the hull.
Gotcha.
And the other one was on deck, and the hull. And the on-deck batter can swing, the one in the hole cannot. And then it's just evolved to hull.
Wow,
So,
okay.
Isn't it interesting,
I agree, and that's good information. I like those little bits of information. For years, I wondered why the Pittsburgh Steelers helmet only had a sticker on one side. So I did my research and found out about that too. Just silly little sports facts that you can throw out. And
Just crazy.
Yep.
I was just wondering about it up there, and she's like, well, she looked it up, and it had to be with the batter in the hole.
Well, there
waiting to
we
get
go.
on deck.
I wasn't expecting to learn too much today, and now look what you've done. You've taught me something.
Well, I do my best.
There we go.
I don't know much
Justice-
about anything else.
Justice hits the ball to shortstop, has a hard time fielding it, no chance of getting the throw. You have got, as a defensive team against the Redskins, you have got to come up clean with a ball that Justice hits, because he is sprinting down the first baseline. He is quick, and he's able to beat that throw out, no problem. So now up to the plate with one out and one on steps Dion Perry, the senior center fielder for the Redskins, wearing my favorite baseball number 21. There's a pitch outside. Justice stays put at first base, and Dion looks down. Coach Davis giving the signs. That is correct. Greatest baseball player of all time, Roberto Clemente, number 21, Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm dating myself a bit, but I don't care. I do not care.
Pittsburgh, great city, great teams.
I will take that Pittsburgh Pirates team many times against many of the great teams. There were some tremendous Hall of Fame players on that team. So there's a throwback, and Justice is in safely without even having to get dirty. He likes that, but not as much as his mom. She doesn't have to wash that uniform if he doesn't get dirty.
I think Mom today is very happy to wash the uniform as well as he's pitched and played.
He has pitched well. That's why he doesn't have to get the uniform dirty. I spoke too soon. Down he goes into second base with his next stolen base. I don't have the number of stolen bases Justice has, but I do know he is one of the leaders in the 2A conference in stolen bases. So now Dion is in position to drive in a run here with a base hit.
So Rusty, Grandma Knees has asked, why is it on one side?
So I appreciate Grandma Bishop asking that question.
It's Grandma Knees. It's Grandma Knees.
So the reason is, back in the early days, the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, when they would lose, and they lost frequently back in the early days, hated his company logo staring him in the face. And so he said to them, if you win, you can leave the logo out in your locker. But if you lose, you turn your helmet around so I don't have to see my team's my company logo. And so that's why they have a logo on one side, not the other. There's a ball hit to the third baseman by Dion, who bobbles a little. Justice kind of makes him take a look back at Justice advancing to third. Third baseman had no idea what to do there and just pocketed the ball.
Yeah, no idea. Try to get back to get Justice. He's not going to get Justice. And
Nope.
at that point, you're not going to get Dion.
Nope. The two toughest, the two fastest runners on this team are the leadoff hitter, Justice Burt, and the number 2 hitter, Dion Perry. And when they get on, they can round these bases in a hurry. So now with runners at the corner, although I don't think Dion will be there long, maybe about 35 seconds is all.
Oh, he's going right now.
Yeah, he's going on movement, and Cale will step in and hopefully drive in 2 more. There goes Dion, and the fake throw didn't even move Justice, and so Dion is able to advance to second base. And so Cale Stewart, number 31 for the Redskins, will have a chance at 2 RBIs here with just a base knock. Ball low, outside. Cale flips the bat between his legs, disgusted that he hasn't had something to hit yet. Cale wants a pitch to hit.
Yeah, you'd like to see Cale just get one and drive one and show what he can do here.
Yep, and there he goes, and that ball is hit well over the right fielder's head, and that is out of the park for the St. John's Redskins, and Cale Stewart with a home run to right field.
And Cale knew it. He had a nice little bat flip on that. It's like Sim, just run.
I'm going to have to – I was looking at the ball. I didn't notice the bat flip. I'll check that out later. But I love when the big man is able to get some air under those balls and knock them out of the park.
Now, that was a great hit. I mean, right field line with the wind blowing, that one then had to be hit well to keep fair.
Yep, and he did that. That was a beautifully well-hit ball high in the air to right field. Right fielder was just able to watch that thing go over the fence. Plates 3. So now Joe Bushman steps up with a clean slate ready to go. And there's the pitch, and that ball is driven in the gap between the center fielder and the right fielder, and Joe is headed to second with thoughts of going to third. And here, no, he's going to stay. He was waiting, looking at his coach for a sign, and his coach didn't give him a sign.
Well, he did, actually. He gave it to him as he was between first and second, but Joe was admiring that he had hit the 327 sign on the bounce.
Right.
And so he missed it the first time.
Oh, okay.
But Mr. Davis had a big red stop sign up there for him. Like hey, don't run out of the inning.
And that's another thing about Coach Davis. He's a class act. The score is a little out of hand. We're not going to be taking extra bases, and we're not going to be doing some of the things that typically we would do. He and Bushman are having a little laugh.
Well, and right now, you don't want Bushman to extend himself and get hurt.
So Luis Morales steps in to run for Joe Bushman at second base, and Gage Trickey fouls that thing off down the right field line. The first baseman has to go get that and retrieve it back to the umpire. So with no balls and 1 strike, Gage Trickey looks in, runner at second base. Ball outside, 2-1 on the hitter, number 32, Gage Trickey. That's another number I haven't seen on a baseball field very often, 32.
Well, going back to Pittsburgh, that's Franco Harris.
Well, yeah. Yeah, if we're going to go to the football, I got a bunch of 32s we could talk about, but
well, we're in Pittsburgh still.
If we're still in Pittsburgh, it's Franco Harris, which I thought was kind of funny. They drafted a Harris.
Yes,
Najee Harris to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I thought, as a Pittsburgh Steeler hater because they beat my Cardinals in the Super Bowl,
well, who doesn't
detest
beat the Cardinals?
Them. Hey, stop right there.
Oh, sorry.
Stop right there. I wasn't happy about Najee Harris going to Pittsburgh.
What a class act, though. Did you hear where he was on draft day?
Yes, I did. He was serving food to the homeless, and he's a tremendous
where he
young
stayed.
Man.
He used to stay at that shelter when he was a kid.
Yes, unbelievable. And not only that, listen, the airport was shut down during the pro days in Alabama, and he wasn't able to get back there via plane. So he got in his car and drove there so that he could be there to support his teammates. I love that.
You know, you love hearing stories about players like that, regardless of who they play for.
Yep.
It's easy to be a fan for that guy.
Yes. And I am a Najee Harris fan. That's why I was disgusted when he got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, I'm just going to say, you know, as a Steeler fan, Kale's like, who are they going to draft? And I said, Harris.
And then 2 seconds later, Pittsburgh Steelers select Najee Harris.
And here's another. So I have 5 sons. One of them's a Steeler fan.
That's my favorite one.
And let me tell you, Dallin takes a lot of heat from the rest of us. But with that being said, he had the last laugh when the rest of us Cardinal fans played them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 3-1 count here.
It's still painful.
I just want to say, and I don't say this with pride, Super Bowl 53, I was about 9 months old. Very first Super Bowl in life. I was a Steeler fan.
Because your dad was. That's what kids do. They always do what their dads do, except my son, Dallin, who decided he was going Steelers all the way. So that ball was hit hard by Wes Scarborough, who hit it to shortstop. They were able to get the first runner at second base, unable to get Wes on the double play ball, and a run was able to score. So now it looks like Jason Spencer steps to the plate for the Redskins. That's where it went. I'm looking, the wind blew all my paperwork away, and I'm looking at the athletic director, David Bradshaw, here at St. John's High School, and he picks up my ALA sheet with these young men's names on it.
That's the first pitch strike.
There, finally, Dayson's able to get a ball hit. It's hit to the shortstop right next to the second base bag, and he's able to make an easy play on that. But the Redskins are able to add to the lead to bring the score 17-1. I know sometimes I say the score and all of that. Victor Chavez, who does just an amazing job for us here, he has a camera posted at the scoreboard. I don't need to get caught up in all of that stuff. Victor's on top of it already. I go home.
Victor's the man.
I go home and re-watch the broadcast, and I'm like, I'm telling the score. It's right there in front of these people. They already know.
Well, you know, some people might put it on and let it stream while they're in their car and listen to it over the radio and aren't be able to look at the screen because they're driving safely.
Point taken.
So there's some that are just going to put it on and they want to hear the score because they're not able to watch it, but they're hearing it. So I think it's okay to say the score every now and again.
So now it looks like Coach Davis is going to save Justice Burt for the next playoff contest. And into the game, I should say moving from shortstop to the pitcher's mound, is Cale Stewart, the home run hitting Cale Stewart.
Cale Stewart with power. You'd like to see him just come in here and just mow it down. Just set him down, 1, 2, 3, get the out, go home.
St. John's Redskin baseball fans, it's blue skies in all but one direction now. So, and the wind is blowing that dark rain cloud away from us.
Hopefully it's away from us because I don't want to see it.
So here's the pitch. That ball is outside for ball 1.
As I've mentioned earlier in the broadcast, normally I love rain, but not when we're working.
Not when we're working. We got all this expensive equipment. There's a pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1 to even the count. This has got to be tough on these hitters to see a big O 6'4" pitcher on the mound. And he throws it inside. And I'll tell you what, that hurt. That was right on the hip. And he's going down to first base, but he's not going down there happily. That hurt. Cale threw it just inside, and so another base runner. The last time we hit a batter, he scored.
Yes, sir.
So we don't want to do that too often. Up to the plate now steps the second baseman for the Coyotes, and this is Jonathan Wendt. There's a pitch. That is a strike.
You know, if St. John's continues and wins this game, they play May 8th, possibly against Miami.
Now, that'll do nothing but annoy me for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're in our division. Second of all, they're ranked third in the state. They've already put it on us twice. And why they would line us up to have a first round playoff game against a conference opponent is beyond me. I still don't understand it. There is a strike, gets past the catcher. I think that was foul tip straight back. Yeah. So now Cale is ahead in the count.
Big Blue said that was a foul ball.
Foul ball. And I'll tell you, if I'm Jonathan Wendt, this is hard facing a pitcher that throws this hard. He
Absolutely.
Ducks way low, and guess what happens when you duck way low like that? You can't really get around on the pitch, and Cale just throws it right past him. So now up to the plate steps Trevor Humbert, and last time up he hit a ground ball to the second baseman, Clarence Wilbank. And now in for the Redskins at second base is Michael Bushman, the younger brother of one of the senior leaders of this Redskin team, and that is Joe Bushman, the catcher. So he stands in there again. He's holding his bat. There's no way he gets that bat around on Cale, holding the bat that tight to your body, and sure enough, fouled way back. Out of play for strike two. With one out and one on, the count 0-2.
Yeah, this is a tough number 9 hitter going up against Cale, one of the top pitchers for the Redskins.
Well, and unquestionably the hardest thrower on this team. He really throws the ball hard.
And he had a phenomenal outing against Snowflake.
Well, against Snowflake, I think he had his best outing of the year, and was able to really keep a good hitting Snowflake Lobo team pretty much in check the whole day. There's a pitch, swung on and fouled back. 1-2 on the hitter.
A little curveball on that one.
What's happening here is there's been so many foul balls, the umpire's out of balls. We got to get these foul balls back in here, boys. So Cale looks in ahead on the count, 1-2. The pitch outside, the ball thrown down to Justice Burton. They have this kid done, and he is out
by a lot. I couldn't even.
20 feet.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. They've not been in position to test our catcher. They don't know much about us, having not played us. And so he decided he was going to try and take up on Joe, and Joe threw a dart down to Justice, and that was just an easy play. So 2 outs. There's the pitch. Joe's going to have plenty of time to make a good throw, and he does that, and we're able to get out of the inning.
They did us a huge favor, to be honest with you. I mean, this batter flips the order. We go back to number 1. They have an opportunity to be through the lineup the third time, get an opportunity to score some more runs, but by running themselves out of that inning, trying to steal second, strike out, throw out, it ends the ball game for the Redskins.
Yep. So the ball game is over now. The score 17-1, and we'll see where the Redskins wind up in their state playoff. But that was a good outing for our Redskin baseball team because they gained confidence. They were able to come in here and take care of ALA Coyotes. So thank you all so much for joining us for playoff baseball. We appreciate you tuning in to Team Legacy Productions on YouTube. Thanks to Victor Chavez. Thanks to Paul Hancock, Cale Hancock. I am Rusty Oaks, and we're out.
Have a good evening, guys.